Hello teachers, my name is Teacher Stephanie from teachingstephanie.com or Teaching Stephanie on Instagram. On this channel, you are going to find videos all about finding the fun in online teaching. I have been an online teacher for 3 years. I absolutely love it. I help coach other teachers in lesson planning and getting through the application process, and I would love to help you too. So in today's video, we are talking about how to create a winning profile on Outschool. I'm going to go over my best tips for making a great profile picture, having a great intro video, what to write in your headline. I'm going to talk about it all to create a winning profile with Outschool. Let's get to it. Now, like I said, I am an Outschool teacher. I also teach with VIP Kid and I do some independent private tutoring as well. So I have been teaching online for 3 years. I absolutely love it because it allows me to teach in the morning and then be a stay-at-home mommy during the day. So it's my little side hustle. I've been loving it for 3 years. And if you want to do that too, you can always email me to find out your teaching options. You can use my application link to apply for Outschool. Now, if you're wondering what Outschool is, what is she even talking about? I have a video about that. In fact, I have a whole playlist about what is Outschool and I'd love to help you through. So you can click in the description box below. You just click the little down arrow in the description box, you go down and you can find my links there for what is Outschool, my Outschool playlist. You can also download my complete and free Outschool teaching guide where I take you from application to successfully teaching your first class in Outschool. This guide is completely free. All you have to do is enter your email address so that it can be sent to your inbox. It is jam-packed with golden nuggets of my best tips and tricks for my referrals through coaching other teachers through the process. And so I hope you find it helpful and use this on your journey with Outschool. Now let's get started on today's video, which is creating a winning profile on Outschool. Now, learners and parents are going to be looking at your profile. They want to see your education, they want to see your expertise, and they want to see your personality. So in this profile, that's what you're using to kind of show your about me. If you're thinking of a business and you go to their about me, what do they do? What are their credentials? Why should I purchase from them? That's what you're showing parents and students on that. So with this profile, you are going to have a photo, a headline, an intro video, and an about me section. So we're going to go over those things. I'm going to give you my best advice for them, and then I want you to use this. Whether you are just starting out applying or you are a veteran Outschool teacher just looking to update your profile, I want you to use these things at any point in that time because you can do this even before you are approved to teach with Outschool. So I want you to use these tips to kind of just start honing in and getting your business ready so that you can successfully teach that first class. You can start teaching the best kids on the planet because you have a winning profile. Now, the first thing we're going to go over is your photo. I'm going to show you a bad example here and I'm going to show you a good example. They're both of me, so nobody will get offended. Maybe me. Okay, so you can do a professional photo here, professional headshot. What I would suggest though is that it is mostly of your face. It is well lit using natural light, so standing in front of a window, you can even be outside. Mine is just me out on my deck, and I loved how blue the sky was, that the camera was down below me facing up to get that blue sky background, and I had natural light, tilted my head, took a picture. This was all done on my phone. It works great. It's not a professional headshot by any means, but they can see me and know what I look like. Now, the two things I want you to think about here are making sure that you look professional. Again, it doesn't have to be a professional paid for photo shoot headshot. I just want you to look professional. And I also want you to look friendly. Those are the two things to remember in the photograph. Now, if you're going, I don't have a fun background, I don't have anywhere in my house that would be good, I don't know, I just don't know what to do, might I suggest going outside, getting a picture with good natural lighting, no shadows on the face, and then using canva.com and their background eraser. Then you can put whatever color you want, you can do whatever color you want, and it is really awesome for changing up the colors, changing those things. Then you can also use this picture in your class listings and change that around. All right, now let's talk about the headline. I don't want you to spend too much time on this. It's not going to be something that makes or breaks your sales with teaching with Outschool, but it just tells them a little bit about you. It's kind of the tagline, it's short, it's catchy, it's something that tells them about you in the shortest way possible. I want you to say something that sets you apart from other teachers while also explaining a little bit about yourself. What I would do with the headline is do, what do you want to teach? Who do you want to teach, and things that you like to do. You want it to be short, you want it to be catchy, and you want it to set them apart while still explaining who you are. So mine says soccer player, Harry Potter lover, crazy mother, and merry math teacher. Okay, now there are 4 things I want you to include in your About Me section. Number 1, I want you to say what kinds of classes that you teach. Now, if you have not been teaching yet, if you are new, you're just applying, brainstorm some classes that you would like to teach. So if you have no idea, you can watch the video. I will leave it here up above me, and you can brainstorm some classes. You can also find the brainstorming worksheet in that guide that you download, and you can talk about some of the classes that you might teach. Now, this isn't a contract, this is just classes that you might want to teach. And so you can say that. I would love to teach classes about X, Y, Z. You can also talk about who you want to teach. I love teaching young children. I love teaching the high school aged kids. Talk about who you would like to teach as well. Now, the second thing, number 2, what I want you to include, your professional background. I want you to talk about your education and your experience about why you are qualified to teach that class. A parent might be wondering, you know what, she looks nice, but why, what makes her qualified to teach my 3rd grader multiplication? And I have it right there in my profile. I was a 3rd grade teacher for 1 year, and I have a concentration in math curriculum with my elementary degree. Right there, okay? Make sure that you put that in your professional background as to why you can teach those classes. You might have your coding certificate, so you can teach that. You might have years of experience with video editing. Now, you have a background in something. That's why you want to teach those classes, and you want that to show through, and that's why you can teach those classes, okay? Number 3, I want you to talk about your philosophy behind teaching. I want you to talk about why you like teaching, describe your teaching style, maybe some learning activities that you like to do in your classroom. Let them get to know what a class with you might look like. This doesn't have to be long. Mine says, my philosophy of teaching is to be a champion for the children in my classroom. I want each student to succeed and feel safe when I am their teacher. That's my philosophy right there. You write down yours. Why do you want to teach these kids? Make it personal and show the parents that you want to teach those children and you want them to do well. And now the last thing, number 4, I want you to make sure that you write something fun and personal. Talk about your hobbies. What do you like to do in the summer? What do you like to do in the winter? Talk about your family and include pets. Yes, of course, include your pets. The kids love seeing pictures of my dog. Give them a fun fact about yourself. Maybe you've never ever tasted Dr. Pepper, or you've watched all the episodes of The Fresh Prince. Write that down. Okay, now I've given you the 4 things that I want you to write in there, but there is a bonus, something else that I want you to do before you move on, and that is to check your spelling and grammar. The last thing we want to do is to have this be your profile page and have bad spelling, bad grammar. That's not a huge selling point when a parent is looking for somebody to teach their child. So make sure you proofread it, go through it. You can even give it to somebody else to have a second pair of eyes, just glance through, make sure it looks good, and then you can move on to the video. Okay, let's go over the video standards, and then we'll go over some tips to make it really good. Okay, so you need to make sure that it's 30 to 90 seconds. You don't want it any longer. They're not going to be watching for that long, and it does need to be 100 megabytes or less. So if you're doing any fancy editing, if you're adding music, things like that, make sure you compress the video so that it's 100 megabytes or less. Now the content, you should introduce yourself and you should describe your teaching background and the interest in what you want to teach. All right, audio. This should be free of background noise. So if you have little chatterboxes in the background, if you have the vacuum running, you want to make sure that your voice is clearly heard. Okay, and lighting. You want to make sure that your face is well lit. No shadows. I use a selfie light. I'll put a picture here so that you can see the one that I use, and I'll leave it in the description box if you want to purchase that on Amazon. I use that when I'm teaching as well so that my face is well lit and they can see me. Do not sit in front of a window or a bright light. So you don't want that light coming from behind you, or else you won't be able to see your face and you. It will light up everything else behind you. So make sure the window is over here behind the camera and you're gonna get lots of natural light. Okay, those are the standards, those are the requirements. Now here are my tips for making a great video. Watch and listen to your video before you submit. I know sometimes I've done this before, you're in a hurry and you just hurry, you film the video and then you click submit and you go, I've watched it back before and my sound wasn't working. There was some gunk in my little speaker. Microphone didn't pick up any sound, so I sounded like the Charlie Brown teacher. You couldn't understand what I was saying. Should have watched it beforehand. Clearly show your face in at least part of the video. I've had teachers showing the slides that they're going to show, but they don't show their face. So it just looks like you're doing a slideshow. Yeah, show a little bit about you. This is your introduction video, so show a clear view of your face in at least part of the video. Okay, and my next tip is to speak clearly and be engaging. You can move your arms like I do a little bit, or you can just move forward towards the camera, back up a little bit. Those are little things that you can do to be more engaging with the camera. You can also create interest by putting your face over here and doing pictures. All sorts of things that you can do with editing, but you don't have to be that fancy. If you just want to do it on your phone, film it, just move forward, move back, and have great dialogue. And that's engaging enough to introduce yourself in your profile. Okay, and here's a pro tip. Get their attention in the first 10 seconds. This is something that YouTubers do all the time. You could tell a joke, you could have a fun fact, you could have a riddle, do a trick with a soccer ball or football. Heck, maybe even do a little dance at the start. Do something to get their attention. You might have seen in my intro video, I have my dog and then each of my kids pretending to teach in my classroom. That's my introduction to Outschool and to VIP Kid. I use both of those because it grabs their attention. They love seeing my dog, like I said, and they also love seeing my own kids. It's so fun for the parents to see that I have a sense of humor, I have fun with my students, so it's so great to show that off in your video. All right, another pro tip is to have a fun and engaging background. Now, I wanted to create this mural for my classroom. You do not have to go that far. This is something I wanted in my home office, and it's fun and engaging. That's what I wanted. A great thing that you can do is to have Zoom and to do a virtual background, or you can also use Manicam and create a virtual background while you're filming. That way you don't have to pin anything up, do anything too fancy to your house. You can just create a virtual background and then you don't have to worry about any of the long-term effects to your home. Now, my last tip, something that I want to mention, is that this is not intended to be a demonstration of your lessons. You don't have to do any sort of sample teaching here to show off. You certainly can. You can show them how to dribble a soccer ball. You can show off a little bit, but mainly you're just introducing yourself. All right, hopefully you enjoyed those tips and tricks all about creating a winning profile with Outschool. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at teachingstephanieo@gmail.com. I would love to help coach you through the process. I will leave my application link, my email, and my website linked below so that you can get to all of them easily. And I would love it if you stuck around and watched my introduction video that I used for my Outschool profile. Thanks!